Hello and welcome to Dice Masters United. I'm Spug.
I'm Ben.
I'm James.
And I'm Peter.
Coming up in this episode,
we'll be looking forward to the upcoming Roll for the North online tournament and chatting about the double affiliation format that will be used on the day.
We'll be talking through the various tier lists that have been set for the event and discussing the affiliations that might offer good or bad value.
And with Marvel's What If rolling along on Disney Plus, we consider which characters from that series we would like to see in Dice Masters.
All that and more in the latest episode of Dice Masters United.
Yep, as some of you might know, the good people at DM North are going to be running their latest Roll for the North online tournament, which is kind of served, I think, as is it the unofficial, probably unofficial Canadian Nationals, but as in last year when the pandemic hit, they welcomed the rest of the world to take part via the wonders of their webcams. And who was it? Ben, did you end up winning that again last year, or was that?
Maybe. I don't remember particularly. I know I won the playmat, which was really cool.
Oh, you're so
time.
modest.
So probably then, yes.
I know me and James had the playmats from them, and the playmats.
Yeah,
were
those
really cool.
those were the winner and runner up. So and you got to choose first, I think. So that means you won.
Oh, maybe. Sorry, James.
Good.
That's all right. I got the one I wanted anyway. I got Alpha Flight.
The playmats were very cool, so
yeah,
I'm sure the prizes this time will be equally as good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the event is going to be taking place on the 23rd of October. It starts at noon Eastern Standard Time, so that's kind of 5 o'clock in the UK, and I guess 6 p.m. in the rest of Europe. And but what's kind of interesting about it is that they're obviously they've tried to set a slightly different and gone for a entirely new kind of format for the tournament, and they've christened it, I think, double affiliation, and it's
double
also
single affiliation.
Double single affiliation, yes, thank you, Peter. Peter, you are well genned up on this. Why don't you talk through what the actual format is, and I'll stop talking and just talking rubbish.
Yeah, so it's you need basically two single affiliation halves to your team. So you get a max 4 on one side and max 4 on the other side. Your affiliations have to be either DC and or Marvel. So you can do 2 DC affiliations, 2 Marvel, or 1 Marvel, 1 DC. Mm-hmm. There are some sets that are banned, AVX and Uncanny X-Men, to stop people from using PXG. There's no non-basic actions allowed for the affiliation for the event.
So like no kryptonite or anything like that. No flying
no
car.
Kryptonite, no Avengers ID card, no such things.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. No Atlantis, no.
Ultraman is sad.
Ultraman is very sad indeed, because otherwise he would have been a pretty good tier 1.
He's Crime Syndicate.
Yeah. And the affiliations have received a tier that goes along with them. So there are a bunch that are tier 1, and there are a bunch that are tier 3, and everything else is tier 2.
And why do the tiers matter?
The tiers matter because you will get rewarded tickets for the raffle depending on your highest affiliation tier. So if you have a tier 1 affiliation among your affiliations, then you can only ever get 1 ticket per win.
Right.
And if you have only tier 3 affiliations, you can get 3 tickets per win, but it's going to be trickier to win, obviously.
Yes, and probably 3 times 0 is always going to be 0. So,
well, you get 1 per round for participating.
Oh, right. Okay, 1 for turning up.
Yeah, you will have tickets no matter what.
That's good. And then the prizes will be drawn solely, is it, through that raffle then?
I believe so, yes.
If you can win games with more tickets, then you're going to be in it in a bigger way when it comes to the prizes.
To win it. Did you say something about banned villains and other stuff? Is that right?
Yes. Well, I did not yet, but indeed, the villain affiliation is banned. You can use cards that have 2 affiliation, one of which is villains, but you can't use them as villains per se. So the villain affiliation is also banned. Mystics are tricky. So if you use Mystics, you have to use either DC Mystics or Marvel Mystics. They count as their own affiliation. But you could use both if you have like Marvel Mystics and DC Mystics on the other side. But you can't mix them up as one affiliation of their 2, so to speak.
Okay.
But yeah, I suppose we could talk about the tiers, because there's the usual suspects in tier 1. There's the X-Men, the Avengers, Bat Family, Justice League, as expected, Legion of Doom, also because there are many cool cards in that, and there's Exiles, which Ben is not happy about.
So go on, Ben. Why are you not happy with Exiles being in tier 1? What's wrong with that?
Because I like Mimic, basically. The short answer. But they only have 17 cards, right? So it's okay. I'm not going to get too up on my high horse about this, because I understand that Mimic is very good and Morph is very good, but they have 17 cards. Okay.
Yeah.
The Avengers has 259 cards, and they're in the same tier list.
Yeah, it's easily the smallest affiliation in the tier 1 list.
Is that 259 excluding any that
it's
appear
not.
in
I
AVX?
didn't do that fancy.
Okay. But it's still a lot.
213 cards without the AVX and UXM.
What's in Legion of Doom that's good? Well, I mean, there's Black Manta, but that one is actually banned.
Right, because there is a ban list in addition to banning.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's Black Manta, there's Hope Summers for X-Men, there's the Green Lantern Human that's banned. They also banned Raven for Teen Titans.
Right.
And then they banned the basic action card Vicious Struggle because it's just too complicated.
What? No!
Vicious Struggle.
Definitely would have
But
played.
Viscous Struggle is still allowed, though.
I suppose Legion of Doom has Gorilla Grodd. Would be my
Oh, yeah. Surprise
first
Grodd.
thought of that. That's a pretty good card.
no,
There's some good Black Adams, isn't there, that do stuff with Legion of Doom characters.
I mean, is it because it's also got that Poison Ivy that everyone's using as the kind of the 1.5 or tier 2 kind of win con where she knocks
the 5
herself.
cost.
Yeah, the 5 cost
Yeah.
that gets knocked out and then
It wipes the...
damages everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
And potentially
It's good,
Parasite.
but it's not. It's not. Up
It's
there
not
with-
tier 1 per se.
No.
I think there's definitely a problem with. I mean, that's always going to happen, I guess, as a matter of doing such a small number of different tier lists, which they try to do, I suppose, to make it a bit clearer. But yeah, there's always a tier 1 and a tier 1.5, or you know what I mean? The Exiles
Yeah.
definitely aren't the same level as Avengers,
Yeah.
but maybe the Exiles have been done so much, we don't need to see Morph and we don't need to see Mimic again. I guess is the idea.
Yeah, they're trying to stimulate people from trying different things.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that maybe you could have, we were talking about this a little bit, that you could have bumped up into the tier 1, like Guardians. Definitely seems like it could be tier 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of, before we get into our kind of tier 2 sort of value picks, are there any ones from the tier 1 affiliations that we think, any others that we think, oh, you know, there's some good value there? Like, I mean, Bat Family is established as strong, isn't it? And
Yeah.
probably that'll
Alfred,
be okay.
Dick Grayson's really good. There's some stupid, broken Batman and whatever his name is combos.
Natural leader Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
that lets you
Alfred.
KO stuff and then just do stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I suppose maybe it does feel like Exiles and to a certain extent maybe Legion of Doom have been a little bit hard done by.
I definitely think Legion of Doom doesn't have the powerhouse with the Black Manta banning.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but that raises the question of why not just ban Morph and then leave Exiles alone? I'm sure they have their reasons. We should probably ask them.
Then we could have Mimic. Well, I sort of did ask them, because I obviously complained about it. As soon as I saw I couldn't use Mimic in a golden tournament, I complained. And I think their reasoning generally was the Morph. So the uncommon Morph, when you attack, when you field the Morph, you get to name a basic action die, and when Morph attacks, you can use a copy of that action die. And they said some of the single affiliation events they've had, that Morph is kind of just wrecked face. You do also have access to the super rare Mimic, which kind of lets you turn on and off what it becomes, so you can copy an opponent's character, as well as the common Mimic, which obviously ramps a bunch. So I think those three are very, very powerful cards. I wonder whether... my thought maybe is that this format, because we haven't tried it before, we'll see some other stuff. Because I understand that, like, so if you take, for example, the Bat family, might not be the best example. Guardians of the Galaxy, which we just discussed. Actually, with the Guardians, there's so many Guardians that you kind of want 8 slots for it. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of narrow focus of only 4 cards affects it. Something like the Hand affiliation. We only got one card. But in a single affiliation, just single affiliation, you're kind of taking away 7 cards. Whereas in this format, you're only taking away 3 cards. So it suddenly becomes a much better pick. I mean, the Hand beat me with 1 card before, like in single affiliation when I had 8 cards. So it's still pretty good. We'll get down to that, I guess, with value picks. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that affects it. Like, only being able to pick 4 Avengers is actually pretty tough.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And particularly when some of the doozies are going to be banned anyway, aren't they? Just by virtue of falling in certain sets. You know, obviously, there's no Green Goliath for anybody. Not that he's quite so effective without a magic missile or something to ping him. But
I think maybe they should have actually done this tier list and then just kind of let everyone loose with and see what shakes out.
Yeah, then ban things based on that.
Yeah, because this is such a new one. It's kind of going to be would Hulk be that powerful?
Yeah,
I'm not convinced Mimic, because Mimic takes quite a lot to set him up, as we've discussed before. Yeah. So is he that good as ramp? Without, I understand the PXG ban, of course, because that card just by itself works really well. But yeah, it would be nice to see maybe some of these golden oldies get another chance in the sun with restrictions on the number of cards you can use with them.
Yeah. What's interesting is to see and it will also be interesting to see how people build, whether they build with raffle tickets in mind or whether they build with the intention of just trying to win as many games as they can. And because it seems like they're not going to, it seems like they're offering the big prize. Seems to be a Roll for the North 2021 playmat, which is pictured on the DM North website. We'll put a link to the event in the show notes afterwards. But it does look really great, and just like the 2 that were produced last year, they're really good quality. I think, is it a picture of who is it? Is it the Flash? It is the Flash, isn't it?
Yeah, Flash and
Batman.
Yeah, and Batman. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was really cool. Oh, and of course, they got the double. It's the split affiliation thing, of course.
So what affiliation are they?
The Flash is
Justice League.
Justice League Bat family.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see whether people go for lower tiers so they can get more tickets and try to win the playmat, or whether they just go all out and say, I just want to wreck everyone with my
or whether they just choose
Avengers.
Thunderbolts because Thunderbolts are cool.
Can you think of anybody who might possibly do that, James?
No, definitely not.
I think there's always going to be those 2 camps in basically any tournament you play, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the exact things are, but there's a Jimmy player and there's the Timmy player and the Billy
Johnny
player and
Johnny.
and
The Dave and the Eric.
the Dave. But yeah, I think there's always been people who are just like, I want to play a team I know I can win with.
Yeah.
And then someone who's like, ooh, there's tier 3 affiliations, I must play with those.
Yeah, indeed. So maybe we feel like in tier 1, Exiles have been a little bit hard done by, and we're all feeling a bit sad for Mimic there. In terms of tier 3, though, obviously, if you wanted to play tier 3, you're going to have your work cut out, it seems, to win some stuff. Peter, what's being offered in among the tier 3 delicacies?
We have Doom Patrol,
Right.
Defenders, Team Arrow, Marvel Knights, Sinister Six, the White Lanterns, and Suicide Squad.
I mean, I guess Suicide Squad might be an appropriate name to call your team if you're going to be using these tiers, because these are all pretty bad. I mean, maybe Defenders, could that be the worst?
I don't know. Maybe
Suicide Squad.
Isn't King Shark
Not the good one.
No,
Is it not?
The good one is not Suicide Squad.
The King Shark that is a Suicide Squad is like you sacrifice King Shark to make
Oh god!
you deal 2 damage across the board or something like that.
No,
But you have to
I'll sacrifice
your
my 6
big
cost
character,
shark.
Yeah, so you can get your whatever Amanda Waller through for 1 damage.
Oh, blimey.
Nice.
What is the Suicide Squad logo? Is it like that sort of funny bullseye thing?
Yeah.
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 Oh, so there's only actually 3 characters anyway.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller. Can you
Amanda
name all of
Waller.
them?
Well, I've just got them up on the tier.
Amanda Waller, King Shark, and
The Deadshot.
is there Deadshot? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, there's only 3, and
Lovely.
you've got a bit of a, Amanda Waller is a
You've got a
2
nice
or a 3, and then
Purchase curve. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You got Deadshot is a 4, but there's only one version of King Shark that has the affiliation, and he's a 6. You may sacrifice King Shark to deal 2 damage to all opposing character size.
Pants. Marvel Knights has Stick. Is it the rare Stick? I think.
Stick.
There's a couple of okay sticks. The one that has Call Out, which is okay. There's one where if you block Stick, you deal 2 damage across the board.
When Stick is blocked,
blocking.
deal 2 damage, and if it KOs every block he dies, Stick is unblocked, and he's got 3, 5, 6.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah.
I think the value pick here is probably Marvel Knights. Maybe Team Arrow.
What about Sinister Six? Doesn't that have like Doc Ock?
It does, but they're
None
all,
of the good Doc Ocks.
Sinister Six has the same problem as Defenders have, that they're all like 6 or 7
Very
costs.
expensive, yeah.
Although Sinister Six does have that Vulture, which was for some point until it got
That was super
errated.
good. Yeah, but
What even is the logo for the Sinister Six?
It's the number 6, Bug.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's it.
There's nothing wrong about playing the Sinister Six when you can only have 4 of them in a team.
4 of them. Yeah, exactly.
Spug, do you know what the logo for the Fantastic Four is?
Is it a 3?
Nailed it.
why are they not in the tier 3?
Well, there are
Because
only
they're not
3 of
allowed.
them.
No, because they're in AVX. That's
They're
why.
AVX, yeah. But there's only 3 of them in the game anyway, so it should be a
Also,
3.
they wouldn't. Would they be? They couldn't be. Where would they go? They couldn't be tier 3 because they have Human Torch
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Human Torch is good. Yeah.
and Miss Fantastic Force Tackler, which is pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
They're tier 3 because they only have 3 characters.
It's not the size of the boat; it's the motion in the ocean.
You've got. I mean, if you go Sinister Six, you've got that that Vulture from Amazing Spider-Man that gets +4 when a character leaves the field zone. +4 attack when the character
That was
leaves
limited
the
to
field
only
zone.
once per turn, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was, yeah, but it's still pretty cool because I mean, it turns him from potentially from a 4 attack on his level 3 to an 8 attack, which is.
But how do you make them work in tier 3?
Oh, I don't know. You work that out. You're the expert team builder.
You could theoretically. Here's a bit of a combo idea for you guys. So King Shark, he's a 6 cost character. When you sacrifice, you deal 2 damage across the board. So if you get King Shark out and Vulture out, you can sacrifice King Shark to give Vulture +4 attack.
I like it.
And deal 2 damage across the board.
And then how do you make him unblockable?
Deal 2 damage across the board with King Shark.
Exactly, yeah. You get rid of all the...
That's gonna KO everything. Although that would also be enough to actually get the pump for...
you wouldn't have to sacrifice anything else, would you?
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
And then it's actually a shame that it's only once per turn. Otherwise, that could be brutal.
Yeah.
What, get sacrifice 3 King Sharks?
No, because when you sacrifice King Shark, he deals 2 damage across the board, right? So he would KO a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
you can just knock out 6 of your opponent's sidekicks, and you get a 24 buff on your Vulture. If it was
Exactly.
Is there a way of bringing King Shark back into the field so you can do it again?
It doesn't matter if you do it again because Vulture doesn't get any more buff, does it?
No, but it means you can remove more stuff on the other side. That's what I'm wondering about. You could do another 2 lot of damage, and then if you do that, if you do it twice or 3 times, then there's not gonna be much left on the other side. But maybe not. Maybe not in a tier 3 team.
The Dr. Octopus I do like is the 8 dangers. Do you remember that one? So when Dr. Octopus attacks up to 8 target character dice can't block.
That is so
good. Make to pay 2 life to prevent this effect.
Yeah.
That's quite good. 7 cost.
It's like he's using all of his limbs to
I really
kind of
like
hold
that.
something.
It's a really cool card. It's
dramatic.
Yeah. Except
he's actually pinning people down with his podgy little feet and hands. As well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he only has 4 of the mechanical arms. But never mind. Sinister Six are pretty fun, but they are all they're virtually all mega expensive.
Yeah.
So that
you got Mysterio Global for Ram.
The Global, yeah.
I do like that Global actually.
That is pretty cool.
Pay a mask once per turn.
Interesting as well.
Pay a mask once during your turn. Each player may draw a die and place it in their prep area. Yeah, it's a nice little.
You really mess with your opponent's back management.
They don't have to do it. It says may.
Yeah, but then they lose the ramp. It's a trap.
So one of the ones I do might link us into the tier 2 special picks that we have. Craven the Hunter, who's a Sinister Six. He says when fielded, so it's dangerous, 5 cost bolt. When fielded, Craven deals 2 damage to each opposing Spider Friend character die.
Oh yeah,
and he has some nice stats: 152, 255, and 257.
Yeah.
But their Spider Friends, I think, is probably a really good tier 2 affiliation to pick.
Yeah.
There's the Spider Man that lets you make Spider Friends, so that kind of was a cool combo with Craven in set. Although, of course, playing a tier 3 with a tier 2 kind of negates the tier 3.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because you don't get that.
You get bragging rights, I guess.
Yeah. But you still only get a times 2 multiplier to your wins.
True.
So,
but we do like generally the Spider Friends, don't we?
Yeah.
I was to say, just going back to tier 3 for a second, Doom Patrol sucks, doesn't it? Very much like
it really does. Yeah. But they are cheap. So if you go for something like Defenders, if you're really adamant about doing tier 3 and Defenders for some reason, or Sinister Six, Doom Patrol is not a bad one just because they have some cheap dice.
Some cheap, yeah.
Yeah. Elastigirl for 2 as well, isn't she?
Yeah, and the Beast Boys are fine.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Sorry.
They're like an 8th card you throw in your team if you're trying to do like a thematic team. All those cards.
Yeah, because certainly if you were to use a tier 3 bracket, you might as well go all in on the tier 3 and just see if you can
get one win.
See if you can somehow get a win against somebody who's maybe done the same at some course during the evening. But a tip of the hat to anybody who manages to do that, because you're certainly going to have your work cut out. Yeah, maybe Doom Patrol. I mean, I'd maybe suggest that Defenders are probably the worst, but...
Ooh, I'm not sure about that. There's some right trash in
Defenders at least has win cons.
What are
they
you
all
going to do with
so
Team
expensive.
Arrow? In Team Arrow, you get Diggle.
Oh,
I like Diggle.
ever.
You leave Diggle alone.
Felicity
sir.
Smokes. Felicity Smokes pretty alright.
Felicity Smoke's good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Team Arrow is not bad. I think I would probably play Team Arrow and Marvel Knights if I was going to do tier 3.
Hey, you get Katana, the super rare Katana,
Yeah.
don't you?
Super Katana, Felicity Smokes, okay. And some of the arrows are okay as well.
Yeah, there's at least you got some choices there, and you got some cheap stuff. Whereas with Defenders, they're all just mega expensive, with the exception of Hellcat.
Ooh. Hell's Bells, that's alright. Well, it's Patsy, is it that one?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
What's the symbol for Defenders, Bug?
I'm going to say it's a D. Yes, thank you. I'm aware of that one. I may not know them all, but I know that. All right. So that's tier 3. So good luck if you're going with any of those. In terms of obviously everything else by default falls into tier 2. So are there some other affiliations that maybe are going to be in tier 2 that we think are going to be offering some good value if people are going to be wanting to chase those raffle tickets and are looking for a tier 2 kind of multiplier?
Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts for the win.
Thunderbolts.
Every time.
What's in the Thunderbolts for those who don't know, James? What's so good about them?
Well, they've got rare Baron Zemo, who's unblockable, and there's also an unblockable Songbird as well if she attacks with another Thunderbolt, I think.
Yeah.
So you can have the two of them attacking. But I actually find that you might as well just have the Zemo because you end up just buying... Because he's only 3. He's got rough fielding. I think it costs 2 to field on at least 2 of his faces. But he's got decent stats. He's got a big arse, and if you can get a stat flip in there, which you'd have to get from your other affiliation, I think he's got 6 on his level 3. I'm struggling to get the affiliations up, so I'm sort of improvising. If I'm making any mistakes, do feel free to correct me. And then you've got some other good stuff. So that's your win con. And you've got support. Oh, you can buff that with Mac 1. Is that what he's called? I think.
Yeah.
And if you do either when you flip him or when you field him, I think you can give your other Thunderbolts +2 attack. I think, which brings Baron Zemo potentially up to about 8 if you've managed to flip him. As long as he's on his top side, his bottom side's awful. And then you've got some defense in the form of what's that one that's got the Iceman global?
Meteorite. No.
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 Hawkeye.
No.
The 2 cool forwards global.
Yeah, that one. Electro. No.
Techno.
Techno. He can protect your unblockable Baron Zemos from the horrible static field stuff, which is really good. And then you've got the annoying Meteorite, which prevents your opponent attacking with more than 2 characters, I think, or 2 dice.
Yeah, but you can only pick 4 of these, so you can't have too many.
There's some good stuff in there. I highly recommend it. You've definitely got a win con and some defense, and you could have ramp in the form of Atlas.
Yeah, which is pretty good. Yeah, you make a good case for that. Obviously, Baron Zemo, you need to be able to knock something out in order for him to become... He's not automatically unblockable, is he?
That's where Hawkeye comes in. Yeah. Now we are stretching the numbers a little bit because you could use the Hawkeye global to knock out Sidekick, in which case you make him unblockable, or you could go with the Songbird, who I think just has to attack with another Thunderbolt, and the Thunderbolts are the closest we have to the Dark Avengers. In Dice Masters, and that's the closest we have to Dark Reign, and that's my favourite.
Oh, your Norman Osborn stuff, is it that? Yeah. Peter, what hidden gems do you think might be out there in terms of tier 2 affiliations that people might want to mine?
Well, there are a couple affiliations that will allow you to make all of your stuff basically unblockable, which could be good for going wide. There is the Spider Friends that has Madame Web, that has the Doppelganger, is it? Or the other Spider-Man. That forces your opponent to block sidekicks before they block anything else.
War of the Heart.
Yeah, War of the Heart. There is Inhumans with the rare Black Bolt.
Yeah.
That and then if you have a deadly character, which you have either Medusa or Karnak.
Yeah.
And all of your opponent's characters will have to block that character, and so when they all die, and the rest of your stuff is unblockable. And so things like that paired with something that can get a good stat buff, like maybe Deadpool, Kidpool can get pretty huge, pretty fast, pretty easily. So if you pair that, you could have a pretty good swing with that. So that's what I'm planning to do.
Excellent. Yeah, that I think that Black Bolt was fun and was one of those cards. So he says, when fielded, target character die you control gets +2 attack. If that character die has deadly, all opposing character dice must block that die if able.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. He's only a 4-cost mask, and he's got his stats are 032, 133, 254. But I feel like he's, and we talked about this, I think, didn't we, in the last episode a little bit. He feels like one of those characters that never really had their chance to shine because Deadpool had such a relatively short space of time in the kind of modern card pool, didn't it? Before it was rotated out, it got yanked fairly quickly.
Yeah.
It felt like that could have done something nice. Ben, have you got any other shouts that you want to mention in terms of tier 2 value?
Yeah, I think some. So I'll mention one very briefly, and then I'll do my. Well, Spider Friends, I probably think is my actual pick. Maybe Guardians. I think they offer quite a large pool.
Yeah.
Guardians is 121 cards, so that's a lot of cards. And there's some really good stuff in there. But some more obscure ones, I suppose. I will go for Zombies.
All right.
For 2 cards, the Green Goblin. Rotting Goblin, which when fielded you deal 1 damage to your opponent for each sidekick in their field. I feel like in these limited formats, a common strategy is to kind of wall up with sidekicks.
Yeah.
So being able to field, unfortunately it's only max 1, but it is a 3 cost with pretty decent fielding and some good stats. 255 on top level, which is no small thing. And then the other one in that, which is kind of the powerhouse and might be a real jerk move, is Zombie Magneto. Magnetic Monster. Which is a 6-cost shield. But pretty funny. So while active, enemy characters with purchase cost 3 or lower lose their abilities. Professor X can't be fielded. But just in a limited format like this, something like that can like absolutely wreck your opponent.
Say bye-bye to Baron Zemo, for example.
Yeah,
yeah, indeed.
That would be very, very amusing to pull off. A little bit like the hand affiliation, and if you just pull off Typhoid Mary, I think in the right matchup, just getting that Magneto out would be very brutal. And then the other affiliation I want to mention was New Gods, who I think are pretty decent. I mean, there's not that many characters to choose from. There are only 3 characters, I think.
Yeah, is that Big Barda and friends?
Yeah, so Big Barda gives other New God characters +2 attack and +2 defense.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Miracle is very cheap and very difficult to get rid of. So the uncommon, for example, when he is KO'd, you may move another character die from your field zone to your prep area. If you do return Mr. Miracle to the field zone at level 3, especially if your other affiliation you have something that wants to cycle when fielded.
Yeah.
That might be a good option. And then the Orion is also not bad. 7-cost rare. When fielded, deal 2 damage to your opponent. When Orion attacks, deal 2 damage to your opponent. If that's getting a +2/+2 on top level, it's a 10/10 character for 2 fielding, which is not bad, and it's a nice kind of purchase cost. Yeah. So I think they're kind of low key ones that probably won't see much play, but that could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those sound fun. I mean, I feel like I should mention the Infinity Watch from the latest expansion, because I mean that's got some great cards, and it almost feels a little undervalued just in terms of the cards that it offers, because it has the 2-cost Black Widow, the rare that obviously gives you loads of mask, but she has the energize effect of spinning a target opposing character die down one level, and if it's on level 1, it goes to an energy phase. It's got the 4-cost Doctor Strange with the insanely good stats and the force attack global. There's also Drax, obviously, the most famous Drax that prevents people from purchasing or fielding a selected character when Drax is active. And of course, it has Pip the Troll. When fielded, spin up to 2 opposing character dice to energy phases. So you could get some very good control if you wanted that from these sides, and then you wouldn't have to pick something like the hand and only have 1 card. You could have some really good control there. Another
one in that is the Turk Barrett Super Rare. We haven't quite worked out how you compare it, but Turk Barrett basically has while Turk Barrett is active, when you spend a mask energy to use a global ability or field a character die, you deal 1 damage to target character die. Famously used with the Iceman kind of combo. But it would have been interesting to see this play with something like the Hulk. But there's a few things that trigger off when damaged. Not necessarily as powerful as Iceman, but I'm sure someone could work out something with that.
There's Babs.
There is Babs, but don't tell anyone that. I was thinking about that, actually. The problem with that is the number of times you can do it isn't amazing.
No.
No, I should use Arch Nemesis Global.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not a mask level. It'd be nice if there was some kind of way to pump with masks or something.
That would be great.
To make Babs really big. I think, honestly, the Infinity Gauntlet set is probably the strongest outside of AVX and UXM, isn't it?
Well, yeah, so there's a lot of power stuff there, yeah.
Looking at those 2 sets, like even the Black Order, as you were saying, that is pretty strong.
Yeah, I was just looking. That was going to be my next thing I was going to mention, actually, was just Black Order, because there's some great stuff there. Obviously, the Corvus Glaives that fields and then gives you a purchasing discount if you KO something else, or that indeed that die. The Thanos that has Overcrush, and he's obviously expensive, but he can get cheaper because he has an ability of when you field a Black Order character die, you may KO character die you control, and if you do, Thanos costs 2 less.
Yeah, you could definitely do a lot worse than just running Black Order and Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, and your old friend Super
Infinity Watch. Sorry, yeah, correct.
No, Infinity Watch. Yeah. No, there's some good stuff there. All right. Well, that's our little roundup of tier stuff. Is there anything else anybody wanted to particularly mention on that before we move on to our next bit?
The lanterns would be, I suppose, Teen Titans we even mentioned. There's loads of stuff basically.
There is.
Could probably go on about it all day.
Red Lanterns.
Red Lanterns. I don't think any of the lanterns probably stand on their own enough. There's definitely some fun stuff with like the Indigo lanterns as well. But
presumably, though, you can have blue and green. Like if you really want to do it.
You could do Guy Gardner, Miriam. Yeah.
That Kyle Rayner, isn't it? That's all right. Yeah, you could do it.
I love the car. There's a Kyle Rayner that gets +5/+5. That one's hilarious. What was that?
Yeah. You mentioned Teen Titans. Of course, the standout card from the Teen Titans is the Raven that prevents your masks and Teen Titan character dice from being targeted, doesn't she? But she's on the ban list. Yeah. So that
quite
removes her, sadly.
And Cassie isn't.
Nope.
No. Really? That's interesting. Because you could do Hawk Dove is pretty strong.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And so Cyborg.
That's the one where they buff each other, isn't it? Is that what we're talking about? And,
when you KO a Dove, Hawk deals his attack to your opponent.
Yeah, man, he's got some pretty big stats. So there's some good stuff. There's loads of. I mean, I think it's going to be a really interesting team building challenge, and I think there will be loads of different teams. I think
maybe I just wish they just stuck to tier 2 and just everyone just get rid of those ones they mentioned, and then just go at it.
Ban tier 1.
Like just ban tier 1.
Ban tier 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
That would be.
But maybe rescue Legion of Doom and Exiles from Tier 1.
Maybe.
Just get rid of the big boys.
Yeah.
And girls.
What
Well,
we're saying
maybe that's
is,
another-
DM North, next time you want to do this, just let me decide what format affiliations I want to have in it so I can choose them.
Yeah, they might just say, well, run your own damn tournament then if you can do that.
Yeah, probably. We're going to have a Mimic-only tournament. Mimic ramp only, no other cards.
will be allowed. Excellent. Good. Well, so yeah, if you want to take part in that, it's going to be held on the 23rd of October at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I'm sure you can work out that is wherever you are in the world, but do get involved. There's no fee as well, which is really quite cool. They are asking for donations, I think, just to cover the cost of some of the stuff they're going to be sending out, but it should be a lot of fun. If you want to get involved, then do sign up. We'll put a link to where you can find all the details on the show notes. But we will move on to the next segment. Okay, so some of you might have been watching the What If series that's been running on Disney Plus. I think everybody here has watched at least some of the episodes that have been broadcast, if not all of them. For anybody who doesn't know, what is What If? Anyone? Anyone?
It's basically Tales of the Multiverse for the Marvel multiverse. So they will take one movie and they change something slightly, which leads to a whole different outcome for the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. So they've done things like what if T'Challa was abducted instead of by Yondu instead of Quill, and he became Star-Lord. They did that as one of the episodes, wasn't it? So just kind of imagining a completely different thing. And it comes from a very old and established series of comics that Marvel did of the same name, I think, wasn't it? They did a whole What If kind of
basically an
series.
excuse for the writers to do some spin-offs that they can fit into the mainline story.
And it's just been an animated series so far that's been popping up weekly on Disney Plus, and it's been a lot of fun. And we were just thinking, well, what if characters were brought into the Dice Masters universe? What might we see? And actually, we started realizing that there are some already. Ben, what have we got in terms of what if type characters already in the Dice Masters universe?
So there are a total of 16 what if characters. They were used as kind of they were used as an alternative to Marvel's Zombies, which I think in itself was a what if story, actually. But starting with Civil War set and going through to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and X-Men, to X-Men, there was 4 sets with what if characters as the 4 alternative super rares to the regular 4 super rares in the set.
And they all tend to have some similar characteristics in terms of they all have their own unique die, don't they? I think that you have to pair them with. They don't.
Yeah.
Is that right? They don't. They're all kind of standalone in the sense.
Same as the Zombies. They all had an individual dice that you could only get one, and it was max 1 for all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some.
Most of them were crossovers, except the first ones, right?
Yeah, the ones from the Deadpool set, which were...
Or was it Civil War? I think.
Civil War set.
Crossover.
Yeah. But then they also kind of messed around with them a little bit in that the Deadpool ones were very expensive and all 4 energy. So they were 6
requirements,
costs for energy. Whereas the last 2, the X-Men and the Guardians of the Galaxy, were all 4 costs, but you had to use every single energy and could not use question marks to purchase them.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you have to have one of each. They are kind of tricky if you're not ramping well, aren't they? If you want to buy one, so they might not cost that much, but you've got to have one of everything, and you can't use question marks, eh? So yeah, as you said, so they're kind of tricky. But any of those are particular favourites? I always quite like the Shannon Carter, the 6-cost fist from Civil War that said, while Shannon Carter is active, your psychic dice get +2A and +2D. She was pretty cool. expensive, but
expensive.
I think
but I think in general they range fairly broadly from some cards that have been very incredibly meta relevant to some card I had like 7 copies of and couldn't give away.
You couldn't give them away.
I mean, I tried. But the Shannon Carter, I think it started out pretty strong with the Shannon Carter and the Natalia Romanova, who deals 4 damage when she attacks, which is a cool 7-cost card.
Yeah, and that one got better with the rare Moon Knight in Infinity Gauntlet, because now you could get it for 5.
That's very
good
fun.
point. Yeah,
that'd be interesting to see. Actually, I would like to see that. It is nice. Yeah, only attacking 4 times. 5 times to win the game would be fun.
Yeah.
That's good. I like the Wolverine Lord of Vampires, who says, while he's active, when an opposing character die is KO'd, he deals 1 damage to target opponent, and you gain 1 life.
Yes, very thematic.
It's hardly meta breaking, but it's quite fun. That 6 cost.
Yeah, it could be fun with something that kills a bunch of stuff on your opponent's side.
Yeah, totally. So there's some good ones already out there, but we were just kind of thinking, well, what if some of the what if characters that have appeared in the latest series might be able to make it over to Dice Masters? What would we like to see? Ben, what would you vote for? What characters from that series do you want to see in Dice Masters?
I suppose we're going to have to avoid spoilers.
Yes,
to a certain extent.
But a spoiler alert might be.
Yeah, maybe big spoiler alert.
Skip ahead if you don't know spoilers.
Personally, my favorite reveal of the whole show so far, I would do a what if Thanos was good, or what if Thanos never plan never came to fruition, I guess, and he was just kind of part of Star-Lord's team and hung out complaining about how he had this plan to save all the universe. In theory, they would never work in practice.
Yeah, so kind of a non-villain affiliated Thanos.
Yeah, maybe a Guardians of the Galaxy affiliated Thanos would be very fun.
Oof. Oh, that could be cool. Have we got any thoughts on what he might be able to do, like based on? Oh, are we going to get a bit spoilery if he's still big and strong, isn't he?
He is still big and strong, incredibly strong in that. Maybe he would be like a deterrent for the Black Order in some capacity. He could take on some of the Black Order, or he could do something. I'm thinking, because he's not active, right? He's not participating in his plan. So maybe while he's in the use pile, he does something.
Oh, interesting.
While he's in the use pile, if you are attacked, he could be fielded as a surprise kind of heroic last-ditch move. A bit like the dragon statue trap.
Oh,
if you're attacked with the dragon, you could like field your own dragon.
Yeah. Surprise Thanos.
Surprise Thanos, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be fun. Peter, what's caught your eye?
Well, actually, I was thinking that the main character in the series, I would argue, is actually the Watcher, because he is in all the episodes. And it would be really cool to see him in Dice Masters with some like super unique ability that you're maybe not able to field him or anything, because he's not allowed to interfere, but he will give you information or something. I don't know.
That's a great
like if you draw him, you get to mess with your opponent's bag secretly or something. Something that's sort of like different from the usual stuff.
Just reach into your opponent's bag and steal one of his dice.
Yes. Just throw it into another universe.
As a random idea, what if at the beginning of the game you predicted on what turn you'd lose or something like that? Because the Watcher knows already, right? If you have the Watcher on your team, or if your opponent fields a certain character on the turn they win, they actually lose. Or something like that.
And you whip out the piece of paper that you scrolled on.
Haha, I wrote it out. Yeah.
Called it.
You tuck it into the Watcher, behind the Watcher.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, because of course one thing the Watcher can't do is interfere.
No.
He can only ever watch as the voice of the lovely voice of Jeffrey Wright tells us, I think, in every episode, which is pretty cool. So he can't do anything that interferes, but he can watch and he can wait and he can make his little notes and record everything. So it's a nice idea. The Watcher could be in there. James, what have you liked?
Oh, nothing, honestly. I'm sitting here thinking, it's coming to me, and I can't really remember. I'm actually flicking through IMDb, and I have watched them all, but I've found that they haven't really held my attention very much. I like the first one probably more than the rest of them, which is
Shannon Carter.
It's all spoilers in it, but yeah, Agent Carter becoming Captain Britain or Captain America.
Captain Carter.
That was pretty good. Captain Carter, yeah. So maybe her. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Watching that with my daughter. That was pretty good.
Mm. We already, of course, have a Captain Britain Iron Man in the What If, who is interesting. It'd be nice to see a kind of revamped, better version, I suppose. But that card read well. Captain Britain Iron Man is active. Whenever you field a character die or use a basic action, you may purchase a copy of that die for up to 3 less, which is a really interesting ability.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's
so
really
see that come back.
That's got some good shenanigan ability. Yeah, James, you've stolen my thunder somewhat. If I've put my teeth back in,
so I'll say Judge Dredd instead from episode 9. Judge Dredd.
What if Judge Dredd found his way into the Marvel universe? Yeah,
he's been in Batman, so could be.
Has he? Oh, excellent. Yeah, Peggy Carter. I think I like that idea. I think I always liked the Peggy Carter character, and then I really enjoyed the show, the spin-off Agent Carter show that they did, which was excellent.
Good,
It was really good, and it was devastatingly cut short on a cliffhanger at the end of season 2, which was really annoying. It feels like it would be perfect if they could just carry it on Disney Plus and produce series 3, but they don't seem to be interested in doing any of that kind of stuff, which is a real shame.
Can I just say that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good. We watched it, I think it was last summer, and I really enjoyed it the first time. My wife and daughter rewatched it this summer, and I'm not really keen on watching things again so soon, but I did catch several of the episodes, and there's some great stories in there, and I just recommend that to everyone. If you like it's really episodic in nature, so it feels more like a comic than the films do. And the way they explain, if somebody dies or something, they bring them back in a very comic-y way. There's a lot of time travel going on, and it's just well done. Sorry, that's sort of connected to Agent Carter because, some of the actors are the same, and it was anyway. Watch it and Agent Carter.
I watched it. I watched all the series of that and found it uneven, if I'm honest. And it felt like towards the end they were running out of ideas to the point and they ended up nicking them for everybody else from the last few series. Like
towards the end, it was a bit dodgy because there were 6, 7 seasons.
7, I think. Yeah,
but there's some.
There's 7 seasons, really.
Yeah.
But in the last couple of seasons.
The first 7 minutes of episode.
any ropiness was compensated for by Enoch. Enoch
he was
just
brilliant.
The best character in anything ever.
Yeah.
And in the early seasons, all the stuff with the the hive and the framework, that was good. That was a Matrix, but done.
Yeah, but that was
in
totally
a sort of cool Marvel
Matrix.
Way. Yeah, so
true,
what? I don't care. It was great.
True. No, that was good. And Enoch was a brilliant character. I loved him too.
I just loved the way he spoke. Unknown.
Maybe not quite. I mean, he's up there with what's his name from Agent Carter. Oh, come on, what's his name? Jarvis.
Oh yeah.
As the only character that made a crossover successfully between those pre sort of Disney Plus TV series and any of the movies, because he appeared in Infinity War when Tony Stark meets his dad and Jarvis is driving the car.
I would bring Enoch into into Dice Masters. I want an Enoch card, please. There you go. There's my choice.
Excellent. Good. So you've gone for that. All right. Well, should we wrap that up there? So James would go for Enoch. Peter would go for the Watcher. I would go for Peggy or Captain Carter. And Ben, what did you pick? I can't remember. I've forgotten already. So rude.
I have picked the thing I remember definitely. Thanos is.
Oh, it's Thanos. Yeah, it was Thanos. Yes.
What if Thanos was a good guy?
Yeah, memorably. That was
The
it.
Watcher was really the best pick, to be fair.
Yeah, that was that kind of stole everybody else's thunder, I think. It probably.
Sorry.
So nice one, Peter. No, that's a good choice. He's not been in the game before, so it would be good to see him. So, but what would be your pick? What would you choose for your what if character if you could put anything in the Dice Masters game? Do let us know by using the contact details at the end of the show. Otherwise, we'll move on to our last segment. All right, well, we'll just round up with a little bit of AOB, and I think the main thing on the agenda is probably just to mention Dice Fight, isn't it, James? What's coming up over the next couple of weeks?
You've taken me by surprise there. I was still reading about Enoch.
Well, the next Dice Fight will be the 7th of October.
Oh, well, in that case, it must be Legacy number 100 billion.
Yeah.
We're still going with that one. And then on the 14th, after that, it's Halloween month, isn't it? So we've got Zombieland, I think I mentioned that last time, where the initial letters of the cards on your team must spell out ZOMBIELAND. And then on the 21st, it's D&D single affiliation monsters. And on the 28th, it's Necro War, Jason's custom format.
Excellent.
So there you go.
And that's Thursday nights, 9 p.m. What were you going to say, Peter?
Well, if I may, maybe we should change the 21st to prep for the Roll for the North thing.
Oh, there's a thought, but I was looking forward to D&D single affiliation. Okay, all right. Yeah, maybe we will do that. Okay, maybe we'll swap something round in there. I will probably even update the webpage. I've been a bit slack the last few weeks because I've gone back to work.
Oh dear, real life getting in the way, eh?
Yeah,
it's kind of sad.
Getting in the way of my birds as well. I've seen a Ural owl, and it was very exciting.
Good. Well, I'm sure the listeners would love to see your full portfolio of images, James.
We'll put it in the show notes.
I'll drop it in the show notes. I'll let you know about my next bird spotted next time. I'm after a nutcracker next.
Very good. Okay, well, for all you bird fans out there, I'm sure there are lots of you. You can enjoy that from the show notes.
I think the overlap between bird watchers and Dice Masters is probably quite substantial.
Why do you think that?
Well, just because.
No basis whatsoever. Yeah.
Should we take a quick poll here out of the four of us? Who likes bird watching here?
You can prove anything with statistics. 25%. 25% of Dice Masters players.
Yeah,
that's amazing. A whole quarter of Dice Masters players.
Yeah, then maybe that backfired slightly. All right, well, let's stop waffling and round up the show. So we hope that you've enjoyed listening to our kind of general drivel in this latest episode. We hope that you found the stuff useful about the Roll for the North, and do look out for that tournament. If you want to drop us a line in terms of something that we might have missed or something that we've maybe placed in the wrong tier, then do give us a shout using our email address, James, which is...
chocolateowl@dmunited.eu. That will, I think, get to us. Just a bit. No, you can do anything at all at dmunited.eu,
really?
And I'm pretty sure it will get there. Or at least I think that's the case. But if you really want to do it properly, it's dmunited at. No, it's
hello.
not. It's hello. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting myself. Unknown. hello@dmunited.eu.
I think I might try sending an email to stop talking about birds, James, at dmunited.eu and see if that gets
it's a running theme. What do you want?
We should do an episode about our favorite bird characters in Dice Masters.
I might design an entire bird set just to justify talking about birds.
Raven, vulture. Yeah, exactly. There's lots of them out there. Yeah. Okay. That's a great idea. All right. Well, let's not give away too many of our trade secrets, shall we? Before we round up. If you enjoyed the show, it'd be great if you could like, rate, and leave us a nice review using your favorite podcast app. Otherwise, we've loved having your company, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Is it my turn? Sorry, later, alligator.
Yes. You'd have thought after 39 episodes we would have got that down by now.
I was looking at what if the monologue. I was going to read the monologue, but it took too long to load.